Come on, Robin Hobb, why does it hurt so good? Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always guys, I'm Andrew. Today I have got another tag video for you, but before we get into that tag, make sure you are liking and subscribing and hitting that bell notification so you can get regular updates for when I put out new content. Post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now that said guys, today is an original tag that was created by a good friend of the channel, Stephanie from Miss Richards Reads. She decided to reach out to a bunch of her friends and say, hey, do you guys mind doing this tag with me? And so, doing this tag is of course me and Stephanie. We've then got my good buddy Nico from Nico's Book Reviews. We've got the amazing Angela from Literature Science Alliance. And we've got the incomparable Leslie from The Nerdy Narrative. So, if you check the description down below, I will have all of their videos and channels linked in the description, as well as all of the prompts / questions, depending on what you call them, in the description as well, just in case if you want to do this tag yourself. And that said, guys, this is a 12-question tag, and let's get on into it. This is the Robin Hobb Book Tag. All right, so kicking us off, we've got number 1, the skill. Let's see, favorite magical ability. And guys, I've got to always plug my favorite book and or series. That's going to be Wheel of Time. I love the source. I love the one power. I like the male and female half. The aspects, the mystery, the legends, the lore, the madness. I like the weaving of the elements and just everything that goes into this magic system. It's super soft, but at the same time, like it's got restrictions and they don't know how certain things work because it's just been lost to time. I love that aspect about the Eye of the World and the Wheel of Time as a whole. You've got magical implements, you've got boosters, you've just got Terra and Regal, San Engrals, and just your Engrals, all of those. I don't even know if I pronounced them correctly, guys. I love it so much. It is very well crafted and definitely one of my favorites. All right, moving on to number 2. We've got Fitz, a book that made you cry. Now, guys, this is the only Robin Hobb book that makes the cut for this Robin Hobb tag because it's the only book that's made me cry in recent memory. Guys, Fool's Errand, which is book 1 in the Tawny Man trilogy, is fantastic. It is an emotional gut punch where you just get right in the gut. I love it so much. Like, I, at the end of this book, just had to sit down, think about what my life has become and what Robin Hobb has done to my soul. So I loved this book so incredibly much. What Fitz goes through, just, you know, his trials, his tribulations, what he's been up to in the interim between trilogies, I loved it. More than I can really express, and I highly, highly recommend that you check this one out. But read it in chronological order, because it just really enriches the story. Alright, so since we've done number 2, that must mean it's time for number 3. And guys, number 3 is going to be The Fool, a friendship or a friend group. And that can only be the Ember Blade, guys. I have talked ad nauseum about the Ember Blade, and I'm gonna keep talking about the Ember Blade. Aaron and Cade have an amazing friendship in this book. And a lot of stories will be like, oh, they're friends. And they don't really show you that they're friends. Essentially, we start with a very childish, young friendship it's untried, it's untested, and it gets broken and shattered and reforged and put through just trials and tribulations. I love what Cade and Aaron go through together to discover and forge. Not only they forge a friendship that really feels natural, and it feels like, you know, this has been tested. This is good. This is believable to me. And guys, the Ember Blade does that in spades. So yes, that is the Ember Blade, number 3. Which means it's time for number 4, which is Althea, and that is our favorite protagonist. Now, when I was pulling all my books together, I started from the bottom so that I would stack them, so I wasn't digging through the books, and so my answers got skewed a little bit, and I realized, oh, I've used all the books already for my favorite protagonists, and I didn't want any duplicates of series authors or things of that nature. But then I thought, you know what? One of my first books that I read when I discovered BookTube was Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames. And this gentleman right here is Clay Cooper, Slow Hand himself. He's this retired bruiser. He's done his time. He was with Saga. He quit Saga. You know, the band broke up. He decided to go get married, have kids. He wants to open a bar and slap his shield right above that bar. And, basically one day, Golden Gabe comes calling. He's like, hey, you gotta help me. And Clay Cooper goes, I ain't gotta do nothing. Probably should, but I ain't gotta. But don't worry, I got you, bro. And, So for that reason, I love Clay Cooper. He's dependable. He's solid as a rock. But at the same time, like, he wants his life. He cherishes his life. He isn't constantly seeking that adventure. He's doing that through friendship and obligation. And for that reason alone, Clay Cooper has to be my pick for this prompt. All right, guys, so that's number 4. On to number 5. Number 5 is Ophelia. Ophelia is favorite sassy character or funny book. I decided to get a little tongue-in-cheek with this one, and I went First Law, Joe Abercrombie. Very funny, very dark books. But the character that I'm choosing is Sandan Galacta, the cripple himself. I love Galacta. Like, literally, his sense of humor is very, very sassy. He's got to laugh at life and situation. He's got a very morose and pessimistic outlook on life. And so for that reason, we get a lot of good comedy. We get a lot of good characterization out of him. Sandan Galacta is just freaking awesome. He's hilarious. He's witty. And he's just overall just very tongue-in-cheek. I love Sandan Galacta. He was the best character in this entire trilogy for me. Like, he's probably one of the best characters I've really ever read. And for that reason, that has got to be my answer for that prompt. Which means, number 6, the 6 Duchies. What is your favorite magical world or setting? Guys, I'm going to go with Roshar on this one. The Stormlight Archive, like, main world where everything takes place. Roshar is just so interesting with the Krem and the, like, wastelands and everything that is involved in Roshar is really, really interesting because we've got Urithiru, we've got the Shattered Plains, we've got just all of these different locales. And, like, we've got, like, you know, port cities and oceans, and we've got different dimensions. Everything that goes into this world is really, really interesting and vibrant and feels very, very well thought out. I love Roshar. It's very interesting, and I am excited to see where this goes. Would I want to live in Roshar? Probably not. But it's definitely really cool, and I really enjoy it. Now on to one of my favorite prompts. This one is going to be number 7, Nighteyes. Favorite animal companion. And guys, like, I didn't want to stick to my usuals. Like, I could talk about Storm from Faithful and the Fallen, Hopper from the Wheel of Time. I could do Nighteyes, of course, from Realm of the Elderlings. Thus, the prompt is named after him. I decided to go with Orthos from the Cradle series. He is a old, kind of senile, crazy fire turtle. And for that reason, I love Orthos. He's a fantastic character. He is just kind of dry, sarcastic. I freaking love Orthos, and I think you will too. There are certain moments where I just belly laugh at something that Orthos has either said and or done, or is just like naturally doing. I love Orthos. His timing is impeccable, and for that reason, he has got to be one of my favorite animal companions of all time. Alright, so we've done my favorite prompt. Let's move on to my prompt, and that's number 8. Favorite love interest. I mean, I like love stories in my books, but I don't like, you know, romance and we've discovered each other. We'll be happy together forever with no work whatsoever. It'll be perfect. It's like a Disney story. No, that isn't how that works. And bleh, I don't like those. But what I do like is I do like a good realistic relationship, and for that reason, I'm gonna do Samuel Vimes and Sybil Ramkin. I love these two together. I have talked about this before on the channel. This is nothing new. I like that, you know, Sam Vimes is very kind of uncomfortable, right? Like, he loves his wife. And, like, he tries to show his wife that he loves her. But at the same time, like, his life is his job. And so, like, you know, he's like, if nobody else is going to uphold justice, if I don't do it, who will? And so, like, Sybil Ramkin is very understanding. She's like, hey, he comes home. He loves me. He does the best that he can. And frankly, I'm a very lucky woman because a lot of other husbands wouldn't do what Sam does for me. And the fact that they're willing to compromise and make the relationship work, and they're willing to sacrifice for each other, and they also don't impose their wills too god-awful much upon each other. Like, don't get me wrong, Sybil's constantly pushing Sam to be better, and he kind of fights back occasionally because he's like, I don't wanna. I was happy the way things were. But really, like, the world needed Sam to step up, and so Sybil's just kind of the catalyst to make that happen. I love Sybil Ramkin. I love Sam Vimes. That is my answer. Let's get on into it. All right. That means it is time for Kyle, the favorite villain. And that, guys, is going to be Lycos from the Faithful and the Fallen Quartet. I think Lycos is smarmy. He's gross. He's disgusting. He's despicable. And I hate him. And he's a great villain, though, because he makes me feel all these things. But also, he's a compelling villain. Like, he makes you, like, you're like, oh, he got away. Oh, he's coming for you. Like, when Lycos shows up, you know something's about to go down. And for that reason, it has got to be Lycos from the Faithful and the Fallen. All right, I've got a small tower of books over here, so it's starting to kind of get a little bit wobbly. We're going to hope that it doesn't collapse on me. All right, so if we've done Kyle, that means it's time for Kennit. And Kennit is number 10, a character or book that you love to hate. I decided to go with a character that I love to hate. And we're going to go with sci-fi for this one. And that's going to be Jackal from the Red Rising. Literally, the Jackal is just smarmy. He's greasy. He's a smooth talker. Like, even though you know this guy isn't a good guy, you're just like, oh, maybe he's finally turned a corner. Guys, this is the Jackal. He hasn't turned a corner. He's still a bad guy. Like, I love to hate the Jackal because I'm like, dude, you suck so much. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I mean, you're a master tactician and you're a genius, but you suck and I hate you. So, yeah, we're going to go with that for the Jackal. All right, that means we have got one more prompt. We are near the end. Sadly, it is time for number 11, Vivacia. Your favorite character that is a sentient object. And guys, there isn't a whole lot of choices that can fit this prompt, so I imagine a bunch of us are going to have duplicate answers. I haven't read Foundryside, so I can't do that one, but I have read Warbreaker, and Nightblood is a fantastic sentient character because he's like, let's go kill some evil! Like, and he's just like, yeah, evil! That's gotta be evil. And you're like, Nightblood, that's not evil. No, it's evil, trust me. We should slay it! And I just love Nightblood because he's crazy, he's kooky, he's interesting, and I just love him so much. Him, her, it? I don't know. I don't know if there's a gender assigned to a sword. I don't remember that clearly, but yeah, Nightblood is fantastic, and I just love him. So, guys, this is going to be the end of this tag, but I've got one more thing that I have left to do, and that is to tag some people, which is number 12. Tag your friends. And for this one, I have got to go with Megan from Megan's Reading Revelations. Guys, Megan is the individual, the booktuber, the driving force that pushed me through the realm of the Elderlings to, I'm reading the 9th book this month. Actually, like, I'm starting it in, like, a couple days. And, yeah, so, I was like, I'm gonna, read the Farseer, and then I'll get to live ship eventually. She's like, hey, we're doing a group read. And I'm like, okay, yeah, fine, you've convinced me. And then that led into Tawny Man, and here we are. Lots of fun, and just tons of emotional stories. So, for that reason, I have to tag Megan. And then another person that I have to tag is Grace, from Grace Dion. Grace won a giveaway from me a couple months ago, and she asked for Farseer books. So, I want to see her answers and just her overall observations on these prompts, and so for that reason, I'm going to be tagging her. The next person that I am tagging is going to be Ben, from Overly Average Ben. Not only does he get terrible anxiety when he gets tagged to do things, but he also does really fun and inventive tags, and he does this kind of skit where he brings in an author's publisher, and like the publisher acts kind of scared. And I believe he's done a Robin Hobb one, and so for that reason, I have to tag Ben. And the last person I have to tag is Yolene from Yolene Reads. And Yolene has these beautiful, gorgeous Dutch editions of these books, and I just absolutely love them so much. And I believe she's read most of the Realm of the Elderlings, and so for that reason, I have to tag her. I need to see her prompts, I need to see her choices and her picks. That said, guys, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of all my answers. Make sure to check the description down below as well for all of the questions and prompts and for the video links for everybody who did this tag originally. And as always, if you want to talk on a more regular basis, the link to the Wizardly Duo Discord is also in that description. So, till next time, guys, peace out, stay magical, bye.